What if I told you the secret to a clearer, happier mind isn't just in your head? What if the key was hiding in plain sight, right in the middle of your body? And that those gut feelings we all talk about may actually mean something scientifically. Just going by numbers, the average human body carries around 3 times more bacterial cells than human ones. Yeah, 3 times, and today we will discuss what does that mean for us, for our mental well-being. Welcome to episode 4 of Brain Fizz, Gut-Brain Superhighway and Mental Well-Being. I'm your host, and today we're exploring one of the most fascinating discoveries in health and wellness from the past 25 years. We're going to unravel how this biological superhighway works, why it's so crucial for our mental health, and most importantly, those preventive simple, science-backed steps you can take to make it work for you. Before we do that, don't forget to hit the like button and share. Okay, so what exactly is this gut-brain axis? Imagine a non-stop, two-way superhighway connecting 2 bustling cities. The capital city is your brain, the command center for your thoughts and decisions. The other city is your gut. For decades, we thought the brain just sent orders down to the gut. But we now know this highway has traffic flowing in both directions, and a huge amount of information flows from the gut up to the brain. The main communication cable for this highway is a massive nerve called the vagus nerve. Here is where it gets truly fascinating. Your gut isn't just an organ. It's home to trillions of tiny organisms, bacteria, fungi, and viruses, collectively known as your gut microbiome. For a long time, we thought of these microbes as simple residents or passengers, some helping us digest milk. The truth is, they are active, essential crew members. In fact, the research community now considers the microbiome a newly discovered organ because of its immense impact on our health. Want to know about a fascinating discovery? So this is a cornerstone. Dr. Sudo and colleagues found that when experimental mice who grew in very clean environments without germs, they were very sensitive to stress and showed strong stress response. When they were given healthy gut microbes, it helped them deal with the stress. These tiny microbes are chemical factories. They produce and influence hundreds of chemicals that your brain uses to regulate mood, learning, and memory. Get this, about 90% of your body's serotonin, hormone which is very important for mood, is produced in your gut, and its production is influenced by your gut bacteria. The gut serotonin sets the tone for basic mood, and then brain produces peaks of it when responding to specific situation. The gut microbes also produce other key chemicals like GABA, which helps calm you down, and dopamine, which is linked to pleasure and motivation. So, your gut isn't just digesting your lunch. It's brewing the very chemical cocktails that can determine whether you feel anxious, happy, or stressed. This all sounds great when the system is running smoothly. But what happens when the communication breaks down? Well, that's what many of us are experiencing in modern life. Researchers talk about an evolutionary mismatch. Our bodies and the gut microbes we co-evolved with for thousands of years are not designed for the modern Western diet dominated by high sugars, chronic stress, and overuse of antibiotics. This mismatch can throw the entire gut-brain system into disarray. Let's talk about stress. When you're chronically stressed, your body releases hormones like cortisol. This doesn't just make you feel frazzled, it physically impacts your gut. Stress can weaken the intestinal barrier, the tightly woven lining of your gut. This leads to a condition sometimes called leaky gut, where bacterial toxins and undigested food particles can pass into your bloodstream where they don't belong. Once in the bloodstream, these particles trigger your immune system, creating low-grade, long-lasting inflammation. This travels everywhere, including to your brain. This neuroinflammation is now seen as a major contributor to mood disorders. In fact, a huge analysis across multiple studies found what they call a trans-diagnostic signature. This means that people with different conditions, depression, anxiety, and even bipolar, schizophrenia, often show a similar gut microbiome pattern, a shortage of beneficial anti-inflammatory bacteria. This suggests that an unhealthy gut could be a common factor in a wide range of mental health challenges. The impact doesn't stop at mood. Gut-brain disruption is now linked to brain fog, like the kind reported by people with long COVID. It's also being investigated for its role in the development of neurodegenerative diseases. For example, in Parkinson's disease, gut symptoms like constipation can appear years before the motor symptoms, leading to a theory that the disease may actually start in the gut and travel up the vagus nerve to the brain in some patients. As one leading psychotherapist puts it, we used to treat the mind as if it floated in a vacuum, separate from the body. Now we understand that for many patients, healing the mind must begin with healing the gut. It's a fundamental paradigm shift in how we approach mental wellness. Okay, that might sound a little bleak, but here is the incredible, empowering news. The gut-brain axis is dynamic, and you have the power to influence it every single day. You can literally change the conversation between your gut and your brain. So, here's your action plan, based on solid scientific research. First, feed your good bugs. Your microbiome is a living garden. To make the good stuff grow, you need the right food. In this case, the best fertilizer is fiber, specifically, what scientists call microbiotic-accessible carbohydrates, or MACs. Think of MACs as the favorite food of your beneficial gut microbes. A diet low in these fibers can actually lead to the extinction of certain good bacteria, and this effect can even be passed down to the next generation. So, what should you eat? Think of the traditional diet: lots of fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, and whole grains. These foods are packed with the fiber your microbes crave. A landmark study called the SMILES trial even showed that a dietary intervention based on this style of eating was effective in reducing depression symptoms. Also, add in fermented foods like yogurt with live cultures, kimchi, etc. They can improve the diversity of your microbiome and lower inflammation. And it's just as important to limit what hurts your gut. Processed foods, high sugar, and some artificial sweeteners have been shown to disrupt your microbial ecosystem. Second, protect your gut from stress. Now that you know stress can physically damage your gut lining, stress management becomes a non-negotiable gut health strategy. It's not just in your head. Stress can literally make friendly bacteria become more aggressive. This means that practices like meditation, deep breathing, a good night's sleep, or even a simple walk in nature are not fads or luxuries. They are essential maintenance for your gut-brain connection. They help lower those cortisol levels and protect your gut barrier from damage. Third, get to know psychobiotics. This is a newer term you'll be hearing a lot more. A psychobiotic is a specific type of probiotic, a live beneficial bacteria, that has been shown to provide mental health benefits when consumed. While not a magic pill, the results are very promising. Certain strains of bacteria, particularly in the Lactobacillus and Bifidobacterium families, have been shown in some studies to reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression. They are thought to work by strengthening the gut barrier, lowering inflammation, and even directly producing calming neurochemicals like GABA. The research is still evolving, and results can be inconsistent, so it's not a replacement for traditional therapy, but it can be an exciting new tool for your wellness toolkit. It may sound disgusting, but scientists are experimenting with a procedure called fecal microbiota transplantation, or FMT. It's exactly what it sounds like: transferring the gut microbes from a healthy person to someone who is sick. The evidence is still emerging, but there are small-scale clinical evidences indicating that variety of mental disorders and chronic insomnia patients benefited by FMT. The last 25 years of research have opened up a new frontier in understanding our own bodies. We've gone from seeing the gut as a simple digestive tube to recognizing it as our second brain, a sophisticated partner in conversation with our first. So let's recap the big ideas. 1. Your gut and brain are in constant communication through a superhighway of nerves, hormones, and immune signals. 2. The community of microbes living in your gut, your microbiome, are the ones directing a lot of that traffic, profoundly influencing your mood and mental clarity. And 3, and most importantly, You are the one who can improve the quality of that conversation, keep stress in check, and pay attention to fiber intake. This isn't about chasing another complicated health fad. It's about embracing the idea that we are, as some scientists now say, a superorganism, a collaborative effort between our human cells and trillions of microbes. Taking care of those tiny allies is one of the powerful and direct acts of self-care we can perform. Do share this podcast with everyone so that they also start taking care of gut not just for body, but also mind. Until next time, trust that gut, it's smarter than you think. See you in the next one.